राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you. So you all find this time comfortable? Everybody took prasad, finished? See, this is the course we are doing. Build the character for a bright future. So in that we did the second one, correct? No? Self-change for emotional stability. And we took actually many classes on that. Correct, now? Spent quite a bit of time. Now we have the other topics now. Because this is about character. Our Mahanarsinga Prabhu had asked whether we can do this win trust of all through integrity. Correct? Where is Mahanarsinga? You already got the notes and everything circulated. Is it notes or PPT? That video I told you all to see and come. You saw it? How many have seen that video? Satyam, no? That school, is that video? Is the same? Which one? You can tell the Mike. Iranian. Okay. Oh, that's the PPT.
No, but video is there, Prabhu. And also, Radhanath Maharaj's video also you have shared
Okay.
about integrity.
Okay. You saw that also?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So, and the notes also you circulated.
Yeah, actually, there are multiple notes you have shared, Prabhu.
Okay.
I have gone through it. I'm not sure
You
about
just show
others.
me that. Let me see. Then you can focus on this topic. It's a very good topic. It is very important topic. Yeah. So how many of you have seen this PPT, this one? How many of you have gone through it? Okay. Very few have gone through it, I think. Okay. Any other? That okay. Iranian president is another PPT. How many of you saw the Iranian president? Ahmadinejad, yeah. Other one is PDF, I think. Even that integrity PDF, it's a slideshow, but made into PDF. You saw that? How many of you have seen that? Very few have seen that. That's a very important one. Iranian president is second one. And then notes, this notes also share this one. Yeah. Perfect. So you already have the necessary materials with you. You just have to go through that. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, see, these notes, I am not going to teach it, but you have to read it yourself, self-reading. My humble request to you, self-reading, please do not neglect. Self-reading is supposed to be done by you. Only then you'll grasp this first. It's very easy to understand. If you read it, you'll understand. This also. This Rana Samaraja's statements are very important. You go through it yourself. And then this is what I'm going to show it in slideshow now. I'll take you to the slideshow. Yeah. Okay. You see, when you use the word integrity, it has such a weighty word it is. See how many meanings are there, you see? It is sincerity, morality, trust and virtue, business, reliability, principles, ethics, truth, culture. So many things are hidden in this one word. This is such an important thing. To put it very briefly, integrity means to keep your promise. Integrity is more difficult than honesty also. Honesty means to say what I will do. Integrity means to do what I said. So which is more difficult? Integrity. Because honesty means to say what you will do. So in one class, I asked the boys, say if you cultivate tobacco, you will get 20 lakhs per year. If you cultivate, sugar cane, you will get 10 lakhs. If you cultivate rice, you will get 5 lakhs. So I asked, how many of you will cultivate rice? Only 4 or 5 boys raised hand. How many of you will cultivate sugar cane? I asked. 90% raised hand. How many will cultivate tobacco? 4 or 5 boys again raised hand. Then I asked these boys, hey, you will cultivate tobacco? Tomorrow they will make cigarettes out of it. So many people will die. They said probably what to do. It's their fate. Because we have to make money. Because you said that maximum profit is where? Tobacco. That means practically no integrity. You don't care a hell about others. You don't care about the environment. You don't care about people. It's a lack of integrity. And then I asked the other fellows, what about sugarcane? Wale, so many are raising hand. How will you eat rice? Can you eat sugarcane every day? They said, no, no, no. Some fool will make rice. We will get cash crops. We will make and make money, and we'll throw money and buy. Then I said, if everybody thinks some fool will make and nobody will make, then world will become filled with sugarcane only. There will be no rice to eat. Then I asked the boys who are raising hand for rice, why you will make rice? They said, Prabhuji, because it is the cheapest commodity, it doesn't produce much profit and nobody will make. But nevertheless, it's a very vital commodity. Without it, people cannot live. And annat bhavanti bhutani. Correct, no? So living beings subsist on grains only. So because it's the right thing to do, we will do this. They are the fellows who are very likely to become devotees. Huh? So this you can give this test anywhere. Correct, na? Isn't it? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, those people who do some activity because that is the right activity to do at any cost, even if you are not going to be popular because of that. This is the right thing to do. They will do it. And because God wants me to do, it's the right thing to do. And there may be other people who may be popular by doing wrong things, but I don't care. Like, for example, sometimes people speak about political controversial things and all, and they become very popular in the newspapers and TV and all. They use controversy to become popular. So their goal is to speak something loud enough that they will be heard and they'll be basically attention seeking nature. That's lack of integrity also. Correct, no? Just making a noise to become popular like that. So actually, therefore, people with integrity means people who are transparent, people who are truthful, who are honest. All these things are hidden in this. I saw one company with a motto. Many companies have different motto, like Infosys. What is the motto? Powered by intellect, driven by values. That is Infosys. What is Philips company? Let's make things better. Correct, no? So every company has a motto. Similarly, one company motto, I loved it. They had put, we said, comma, we did. I was amazed by that. That is integrity. We said, we did. So all of you ask yourself in your life, if you said somebody that you will do it and you did it, not only that, say you said you will do it by, say, 6th, and today only you did it. It's called as under promise, over deliver. Then integrity will shoot up. They will say that, hey, this fellow keeps his word. He keeps his promise. Very trustworthy devotee. So then next time they will trust you for it. They will say that we can really go for it with this person. But why, in what way is this applicable in devotee circles? In devotee circles, we are all followers of Shastra. So we cannot speak lies in the first place. We have to be truthful. And after speaking the truth, we also have to uphold the truth also. Not only should we know the truth, we also should uphold the truth. You have to keep the promises made. You can't make one promise and then later on say, I forgot or something like that. Like, for example, once Vasishta Muni, he was requested by Nimi Maharaj, I want to perform a sacrifice, can you help me out? And Vasishta said, yes, you will tell me the date and time and everything, I'm coming. But then in between, he got another invitation in the heavenly planets. So he thought, I don't want to miss that opportunity. So there are some devotees also like this. Like, for example, we fix them for some festival here. Say you fix somebody for Janmashtami in your temple. Then he asks you, how many devotees will come if I give a class? So you say 300, 400 will come. Then he thinks there is another opportunity inviting him where about 1,000 people will come. But they are saying that we are little doubtful, we will tell you. So he puts you on hold. Prabhuji, I'll tell you, just wait for two days, I will tell you. And then afterwards he says, I'm coming only. Then because he is not getting invitation here, he will come here. Suddenly, if these people say that, Prabhuji, the other person said, he said, Gaurang Prabhu said he will come, he couldn't come. So can you come? They will just leave this and go there. Then what happens by this? Then these people lose trust. Next time they will say that if he agrees for a program, then we cannot trust him because he says and then he doesn't keep the promise. So we all also have to be careful. Sometimes you have to settle with something inferior, which you have agreed, inferior engagement that you have agreed for. Although, there is a superior opportunity available for you at the last minute. There are many things. I got many, many examples like that in my personal life. There are many, many wonderful opportunities will come your way. But because you have kept the promise, you have promised them, you have to keep it. You cannot change it. So this is, therefore the integrity will be tested. So Vasishta got into problem. He went there because heavenly invitation is bigger than the earthly invitation. So he went there. But then what happened? After finishing that, he couldn't come on time here. But when he came here to the earth, by the time Nimi Maharaj had arranged alternative pujari for doing the work, then ideally what would you do? Imagine if you are in Vasishta's position, what we should do? We should tell him, sorry, King Nimi, I am supposed to come thoda late ho gaya, I am little late. So you good that you got a substitute. So next time I'll properly make my schedule and everything. He didn't do that. Rather, he told Nimi, what? I told I'll come and do, you didn't wait for me, I curse you to die, he said. So Nimi Maharaj was also not ordinary, he was very powerful. He said, where did I go wrong? You said you will come in Yajna and all, Muhurta is very important. You cannot miss the Muhurta. Therefore, I have to get another Rishi. He said, I curse you to die. He also died. Both died. Later on, demigods came and said, Nemi, that we can help to revive you back. He said, enough of this material body. I already have been in this material body. I don't want to take one more birth, he said. So why I'm saying this? This is a very dangerous story. But the idea is, we should be very careful in making promises. Because making promise is easy, but what is difficult? Keeping promises is difficult. For example, say somebody asked you for some service, you agreed. Like today is Sunday. You said, I'll do it Wednesday. Then they called you on Wednesday. You said, Prabhuji, it's 2 more days. Friday, I will do it. And Friday, they called you. You said, Prabhuji, just 3 more days. Weekends, no? After the weekend is over. That's a Tuesday, you can take it. And then Tuesday, they call you. You are still not done. Then you say, Prabhuji, don't you see how busy I am? If you say like, they will say, I agree you are busy, but you tell me whether you can do or not. They will ask you. You have seen that? So, therefore, one has to think twice before making promises. That's one thing. One meaning of integrity is that. Making promises and keeping promises. We said, we did. That is integrity. Now we will see more. So who is the leader with integrity? So why is it important to have integrity at our service place or wherever? Why do we need integrity? So, and part C is how to cultivate integrity. These are all different topics. A is who is the leader with integrity. Second is why is integrity important? Third is how to cultivate that good quality. All are explained. And then D is avoiding duplicity. So now let's go to the A. Who is the leader with integrity? Here you see. What is the, how can we know? See, when you are learning all this, what we should do, we should check, am I lacking in any of this? If you are lacking, then we have to work on that. Sister Maharaj is thinking. Please read it, one of you, whatever is given in yellow.
Kingship or forest, we will. Sorry, kingship or forest, we will do what Lord wills. Duryodhana is my brother. Everything belongs to Lord. We will share the kingdom. Why fight like dogs for a piece of meat?
Hmm. So this was Yudhishthira Maharaj. Why to fight for the kingdom? He is our brother. Let us share and rule the world. Huh? He always saw Duryodhana as a brother, despite Duryodhana being very aggressive and cruel-minded. Yeah. So you can see how Yudhishthira is sincere and not hypocritical, thoroughly honest. Huh? And is equal to his brothers. Huh? Whether cousin brothers or own brother, he is equal to all. Huh? Thoroughly honest. Huh? And also he follows what he teaches to his younger brothers. Hmm. And he considers others' interest also as foremost. This is a very rare thing. Generally, when people argue, they always think from which angle they see. What is my need only people see. They don't see the others' needs at all. See, in married life also, you will see sometimes your husband thinks he is perfectly fine and problem is with the wife only. And wife thinks she is faultless and all problems are with the husband only. Then many of the quarrels you see within family also are mainly because people are short-sighted and like a kupamandu, like a frog in the well. They only think, I am good, the other person is bad. And this is an endless fight. You will see that. Same with colleagues also. So in offices also, when you are in a team, it's very difficult. So to consider others see, there is a word called empathy. Empathy means to be able to feel what others are feeling. To be able to see things from others' perspective, not from your own perspective. Like for example, see, if you see this, if two people are standing, one fellow is standing here, this side, another fellow is standing here, what this fellow will see? What this fellow will see? So two different perspectives. So when someone speaks to you, you should agree, wait a minute, I'll come to your side and see. You should go to his side and see. Oh, I agree. I understand why you are seeing that. Correct, no? I am seeing. That is called empathy. Go to the other person's. But many times people refuse to go to the other side only. They will say, either you come this side or we cut. That's all. Correct, no? That's the whole problem. See, opposite is here. There is an I see. Read it.
I will finish the Pandavas.
No. My army, my skills.
My skills.
I'll finish the Pandavas. My diplomacy. I'll become king of the whole world. Like that you should read. Special. When you're reading, you should bring the mood also along with it. Yeah. What all he did now? A leader with no integrity, Duryodhana. Yes. From bottom to in circular fashion, you can go.
Breaks promises,
Yeah.
partiality and nepotism.
See, nepotism means favoritism. That means, these are my people. It's called a mama tutu, we say, no?
Yeah.
These are my people, they are other people. That kind of thing is nepotism. Like, for example, in Pune, we had Govindas. In Govindas, we have to have a chef, main chef. So now who will be the chef? There are two devotees who are, there are many, there are 10 devotees applied for it and two of them were chosen. Two are very powerful people. So One was X Guru's disciple, one was Y Guru's disciple. Say, if I am X Guru's disciple, then I am likely to have affinity for taking that X Guru's disciple, correct? No? But he is not so competent. Amongst the two, one fellow has more years of experience, is more smart, is more likely to bring profit to Govindas. And the other person, his only good qualification is my God brother, that's all. His only qualification. Otherwise, he is not going to bring that much profit. He is not going to make it outstanding. So, whom will you go for? Will you go for X or Y? We are supposed to go for Y. Because from ISKCON's interest point of view, Y is better. From your interest point of view, X is better. You will think like that. One of the reasons why people prefer X is, he is our own God brother or God sister, It's easy to talk and convince them, which is a wrong notion. Generally, we think that our God brothers, God sisters are more favorable. We imagine that's only your imagination. Tomorrow, you will definitely meet some God brothers, God sisters who will not cooperate with you. Who are, on the other hand, there may be disciples of other gurus who may be very easy for you to work with. How many of you got this experience? Correct? You will have this experience. That means this nepotism is simply figment of our own imagination. That's all. See, one brahmachari was telling me, "Babuji, I like to take this brahmachari because he is from my area, same language he speaks, which means I feel he is like my man. Therefore, I want to take him in white." But I told him, "See, I came from Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra. In our Pune temple, neither in brahmachari ashram nor in the congregation leaders, a single person is Tamil person. Not even one. All are Marathi, Hindi, different people. My most intimate associates in Pune, not a single Tamil person." So I showed him, see here, I came from South India, I came here to Pune. So it's not that people trust you because of your language alone. People trust you, what is substance you are made up of. That's what people will see. What is inside of you. More sharper example is people like His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He's coming from America at the age of 19 to India. He is communicating with Vijayabasis who don't know his language also. He smiles and they smile, he embraces, they embrace, they do kirtan together. But they cannot communicate. For communicating with each other, they both need one intermediate person who knows both Hindi and English. But still they have great affection for him. Why? If you ask the Vijayabasis, they say that, oh, he's so fond of Radha and Krishna. He's so fond of bhajan. Whole night he was sitting with us and joining in the bhajan. They very much trust his innocence and simplicity and his affinity for bhajan. So based on the devotion, they have attraction. So therefore, we should not have nepotism or favoritism just because somebody is my god brother, somebody is from my area. See, I am from one area, I am from Telangana, he is from Andhra. So better I take Telangana wala. If I say like that. See, some years ago, Telangana and Andhra were one only. They were called Andhra Pradesh. Now people are saying he is from Telangana, he is from Andhra. What kind of imagination you can see there? Yeah.
Cheat and deceit, preaches one thing, practices something else.
He did a lot of cheating, Duryodhana, correct, no? He tried to send them to Varna, but trying to burn them alive, many things like that he did, yeah.
Preaches one thing, practices something else. Selfish and greedy, duplicity.
Yeah. What is one thing that Duryodhana said one thing, but he didn't keep the promise? Anybody has example of that? For example, he told the Pandavas that since they are alive now, they didn't die. Now they got Draupadi's hand in marriage. So he told his father, call them and give them some share of kingdom. So in the meeting he said, give them a share of kingdom, let them rule. After the meeting was over, he called father and said, give them a God-forsaken kingdom. Something like Kandava-prastha. Good for nothing. Give them that. Because I don't want to see them get a flourishing kingdom. And so Dhritarashtra also agreed with him and he gave Kandava-prastha, which Krishna converted into Dhritarashtra. You can see that. That means how much mean-minded and narrow-minded the person is. Actually, sometimes we think we can make a secret plan to damage somebody Our effort to damage them will make them more popular sometimes. Like Bhima, for example, Duryodhana tried to feed him poison laddus to him in the lunchtime. He and Dushasana were sitting on either side. They were feeding him. And Bhima was also happily eating more and more. And they both were surprised how this fellow is eating so many poison laddus and not dying at all. 2 o'clock or so they fed, and evening 5 o'clock, all of them went back to riverside to play. All the Kauravas and actually morning they were playing till noon time. Evening, not many of them went. Evening, only handful went. So at that time, some few Pandavas were playing, and then Pandavas one by one they left. It was getting dark. Only Bhima was there. So at that time, Duryodhana and Dushasana observed from a distance that Bhima is getting busy. Then immediately they came to him and they put him down on the ground, put a big stone on his back, and tied a strong rope, and they moved the body into the river. So their idea was that now the poison has started working. And if he's deep in the water, you won't get air to breathe. Basically, their intention was to see that he is dead. But then what happened when his body went underwater due to the weight of the stone? He went to the bottom of the river and there were a lot of snakes there, a heavy weight coming on them. Naturally, the snakes started biting Bhima. And when they bit him more and more, the snake's poison and the poison in his body got cancelled. Yeah. Sometimes poison is given to cancel, you know that? Yeah, like a taunt say, kante se kante nikalna, like that. So once the poison was gone, Bhima got up and said, "Hey, you snakes are biting me." He started catching and beating them. And immediately other snakes ran away and they went to the snake loka, Nagaloka, and they reported to their boss about Bhima. When they heard, they sent their spies to find out who this fellow is. They came and said, "He is Kuntiputra." Oh, the Nagaloka head said, "Oh, they are our relative, huh? Very close. You should bring him with great respect to our Nagaloka." Huh? So he was given a very good welcome there. And when he went there, they praised him, glorified his family, lineage, everything. And they told, we want to gift you with something. We have a pot of elixir. Huh? Elixir is like a syrup beverage, like a viscous syrup, like gulgand type of thing. They said, this is a very, very special one. If you drink it, you will get strength of many hundreds of thousands of elephants. And they asked, would you like to have a glass of it? He said, why glass? Give the whole pot. You know. He drank many pots of it. They were shocked. How can anybody drink so many? Bhima drank and drank many pots. And then he felt very dizzy. They gave him a place to sleep. Slept for 5 days. 4 or 5 days. In the meanwhile, Yudhishthir, everybody is in anxiety. They were all searching for what happened to Bhima. They thought they have killed him. He's finished, they were thinking. Duryodhana already had an enmity for him. But then after 4 or 5 days, when Bhima got up, he looked at the calendar and thought that my brothers will be worried for me. But then after getting up, he got the strength of 10,000 elephants. Because all the elixir got digested in his body. You can see here, Duryodhana tried to kill Bhima and Bhima got 10,000 elephant strength. See what Krishna did. This is Krishna's magic. That means, the devotee is like a sandalwood tree. You take a kuladi and hit a sandalwood tree, more chandan fragrance will come. The more Prahlad was tortured by Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada's fame increased all over the world. So you try to trouble a devotee, the devotee will become popular, more popular. Then Bhima, they very respectably brought him out of the water and left him. He went home happily and told the whole story. So in this way, Duryodhana is pretending to be feeding laddu to him, but his intention is to kill him. Like Putana came to feed milk, but then her intention was to kill Krishna. So even all of us as devotees, in case we lack integrity, sometimes devotees like to put other devotees in trouble sometimes. They will tell other devotees as if they are giving an opportunity, but their opportunity is to put them in trouble. I don't want to tell many real graphic examples, but there are devotees who try to do like that, especially when they don't like a devotee. So just like Durvasa Muni was sent to forest by Duryodhana. Duryodhana said, "Oh Munivar, you gave such a great blessing for me by coming to palace. My very dear brothers are in the forest. I think they also should get benefit of your association." Was his intention the same? His intention was, you go to the forest and curse them to die. That's what he was thinking in the mind. And then finally he told Munivar, please make sure you go in the evening time after the sun is set. He said, huh? So this is his intention, huh? His intention is, saying one thing externally, but practicing something else. His intention is to put him in trouble, like that. Like, for example, imagine you call a devotee and, Prabhu, I think you asked me for service. Would you like to take the service? Actually, some service you yourself are not able to do. Such a heavy service it is. So hand over to your junior. It is like keeping a nariyal on the head of a sparrow, correct? No? Or a ant, and they will become chutney. If you yourself cannot do it, how will they do it? See, delegation doesn't mean you give away something which you cannot do. Your senior only cannot do, how junior can do. So generally when you are delegating, you should think, is it possible for the devotee to handle it? So therefore, so he's selfish and greedy, duplicitous, breaking promise. So you get an idea of what is lack of integrity. See, Volkswagen company, then they made one vehicle. They purposefully made the reading in that vehicle in such a way that it is, certified for no pollution. I mean, certified for pollution control. But it was cheating because they had designed the vehicle in such a way that it will always show that the pollution is within limits. Huh? And they made millions of those vehicles and sold. Many years nobody knew. Suddenly, somehow, one scientist found out. Only one vehicle he found. They reported to government. And when the government checked it, that their model itself is made like that. That means it was, you see, there is a mistake of mind, mistake of heart. Both are not the same. Mistake of mind means, see, for example, I have put my chapel, one black color chapel. You also put a black chapel next to mine. And our chapel models are almost, say, similar. That happens or not sometimes. Huh? So, but say one chapel is, say your chapel is, say, sandek chapel. You know sandek? Sandek only 50 rupees only. Looks like a shoe, but it is only 50 rupees. And another shoe which I have put, say that's a leather shoe, very costly shoe, 2000 rupees shoe. So you left the 50 rupees shoe and you took the 2000 shoe. So later on I am searching who took it. When you went home, you realized, oh, this is not mine, somebody else's. So he brought it back and told me, Prabhuji, I'm sorry. I took yours thinking it's mine. Both look same color, both are brown. Now mine is here, Prabhu, I'll take it. Then I take it. So that is perfectly fine. But imagine if somebody plans, I will wear a sandal shoe and go and I will steal a leather shoe. With the intention he comes. So in the temple we call them as chapal chor. There are people like that. Correct, no? They do that. What is that? So you understand the mistake of the mind, the mistake of heart? Understand, correct, no? So, which is very dangerous out of the two. So seventh offense is mistake of heart. Namno baladhyasya papa buddhihi na shuddhite yamairhi. It says that when one commits seventh offense, it's very difficult to come out of it. It's very difficult because it's Jan bujkar paap karna. It is not. It's not a mistake, unknowing mistake or something. Yeah, so one has to be careful with that. So let us proceed further. See here, what is Arjuna's thought process? Read it. Let's give
My
the mic.
victory.
Others, you can read. Different devotees, read it. You can go like this. All the
Okay.
Krishna.
Krishna is my Lord and friend. He is Parabrahma and purest. My victory is only in his company. I want Krishna, not his energies. His friendship alone is enough for me.
Like that, who is thinking?
Arjuna.
Arjuna. This is his attitude, thought process of Arjuna, you see. Now, Duryodhana thought process. Read it.
What is the use of Krishna who will not fight? Foolish Arjuna chose Krishna. 10,000 Narayani Sena warriors is a good count. I am really smart to get that Sena. Now, considering my power, Pandavas are doomed.
This is his thought process. You can see that totally, diametrically opposite. See, his calculation is totally material calculation. Duryodhana. So those people with high integrity, they make calculation based on fine aspects of life. Like, for them, relationship is more important than money. For example, I had one printer in Pune. So he printed one book for me in those days, Art of Mind Control book. So 1,000 copies when he printed, in that almost 100 to 200 copies were defective. Huh? The print came upside down and some pages were torn, and I needed it urgently for one company program. So 200 were defective. So I called him and said, it is defective like this. So immediately he came personally and he saw it was defective. He said, sorry. And the company needed 1,000. We could only provide them 800. Huh? So I told him that we couldn't keep the promise. He felt so sorry. When he went back and then printed 2,000 copies and gave me free. Huh? Then I said, you'll be incurring so much loss. He said, no, I deserve this. I could not keep my promise to you, so I will do it. So after that, for several years, decades, we had a nice relation. Many, many more books we printed from him. Because once you win the heart of somebody, then the relationship becomes stronger. So later on, he told me, Radheshyamji, for you, 2,000 I printed. My loss was only a small amount. But you gave me so much business in the later years, I earned almost 100 times more. You understand? So later on, he was telling me once, because once you trust a person, not only you will go to his shop, you will also recommend many others to go to him. In this world, trust is a very, very rare commodity to purchase. Arjuna was smart. He thought one mentor is worth an entire army. He thought. Say, I give you one lion or 1,000 sheep. Which one will you prefer? One lion, isn't it?
Yes.
One lion roared, then all the 1,000 sheep will run away. Correct? No? So therefore, he understood, Arjuna, one Krishna is good enough for me. He will guide me. And Krishna's affection for me is so great. If need be, he will lift a chakra also. I can trust him. So he has good trust. So in our life, winning the trust of other devotees is a very great wealth for us. Therefore, we have to live a life of high integrity, without any cheating or selfishness. Mhm. May I read that heading?
Integrity, choosing thoughts and actions based on values and not personal gain.
Yeah. So, values are more important than personal gain. Anybody remembers, I told you one story of two bakery shops, A shop and B shop. Huh? What is the moral you learned from the story? You remember the story, anybody? One shop made 5 lakhs, other shop made 20 lakhs monthly. Correct, no? So what was the reason this shop was able to make 20 lakhs? Anybody remembers that story? Give the mic to him. Here, Deepak Prabhu.
Yeah. Outdated bread.
Outdated bread, yeah, what I said?
He was selling what was spoiled also and just
Fungus,
by cleaning
yeah.
it. Yeah.
There is fungus coming on the bread, like you said, outdated bread. So what you would do, you take a brush and brush it off and then you would sell it. So you're making a big profit, 20 lakhs monthly. Whereas the devotee shop, bakery shop, what he was doing, as soon as he saw a little fungus, he would throw it in dustbin. Even to give to animals, he was afraid. He thought, it should not harm anybody. His intention was no creature should be harmed by the food that we provide. Like in our shop also in Pune, I was telling them, in Kunjubehari temple, I was very heavy in the early days. I said, you should not sell any Maida item. In America, they say, throw away your frying pan, very fried item and Maida item and sugar and salt and everything. Very, very high. Amongst them, the Maida is the worst item because it is like a Fevicol. If it goes inside, it will never come out. It's like that. So they were not very happy with my idea. They said, Prabhuji, the whole world wants crispy Maida. It's very tasty. If you give your gehum, bob, 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 it will be like that. The gehum biscuits are not very crispy. Out of the which is more tasty, Maida or gehum? Wheat. Huh? Maida. Maida is very delicious. But is it good? Not good. But wheat is good, but not so tasty. This is a problem in this world. Many things are attractive. They are not good, isn't it? So they brought the whole cooks, 5, 6 of them came and said, we had a long meeting. Finally, they said, Prabhu, gulab jamun requires at least 10% maida, to, what do you call it, to bind, to bind. Then I said, okay, that much you put, whatever is minimum, don't put. After some time, I came to know that some items are still being made, maida items, because some other cook came and he made it, they said. Then I told them, okay, at least you put on the bottle This is Maida item, difficult to digest. If you want to purchase, you can purchase. You know, and this is Geho, it's very good for your health. Now you decide what you want to do. Correct. Because the idea is we don't want to do Govinda's business just for the sake of getting money, and ruining the health of the devotees coming to temple. Correct, no? So that means you should go by values or by profits. Values are important. Now, even though I may lose some money by not doing Maida, like some of the Govindas, they are keeping this chocolates, for example. Now, did Prabhupada allow chocolates or didn't allow? There are one or two disciples who say that when Prabhupada came to know some disciples saying chocolate there, Prabhupada gave some lenience to that devotee. But these are case to case sometimes. But in general, it's a well-known thing. I can show you. I have an article on how dangerous are chocolates. Where is mine? You remind me, I'll send you. It's 2-3 pages. Scientifically, it's explained. What is cocoa chocolate? What is the problem in that? Chemically, what are the problems? It explains that. So, apart from that being an intoxicant also. Correct, no? So now there are certain Govindas who say that if you don't keep cocoa chocolate, then people won't come for your Govindas. That means what happens? Some leaders always want to go to gray zone. See, black zone means prohibited. White zone means permitted. And gray zone means little doubtful. They always put the leg on gray zone because they want to make profits. Correct, no? So, like sometimes, you make idli in the morning and it's remaining. So, in the evening, what you do? You fry it with, they call it usli, they call it. I don't know what they call here. You break that idli and then you, huh? Idli upma. Idli upma kind of thing they make. They put the different items. Because you put some other item, looks very attractive. But little bit it will be like that. Little bit like old stale taste will come. How many of you have seen that? Correct, no? So I used to tell my mother, you never make that. It's horrible. Give away to some beggar. Don't make in the evening what you cooked in the morning. After 3 hours, the food gets stale. It is not very good. Then it goes to tamaguna. It goes like that. So generally we should, if you are value-based Govindas, you will be concerned about the health of the people. Plus another thing I used to tell in Govindas, try to give devotees as cheap as possible. If outsiders are selling in X amount, you should give in 75% of that amount. Instead of making profit like the outside people. Because devotees, they are already giving donations to temple, they are giving charity and everything. So that means, if you are any service you are doing in the mode of service to the devotees, then it will be value-based. It's not going to be for your personal gain. Anything you do value-based, eventually personal gain will also come. Like in this story, what happened? The fungus wala shop, what happened? One day, some of the people purchasing bread from him, they got food poisoning. One of them died, 3 of them admitted to hospital. Police came for a raid and the shop was sealed and they put a board that the shop sells fungus breads, so they are sealed now. And then everybody in the city started calling it a fungus bread shop. Name also came for that. Now, all the people from this shop who wanted to buy commodities, what they did? They migrated to devotee shop. So devotee who was earning 5 lakh, now he's getting 15 lakh now. And that too with the same type of, standards. Yeah. That means integrity will pay you back in the long run. One true story I will tell you. In IT circle, one fellow was working in a company and they were having R&D department. And then another rival company used to call people from this company and ask for secrets, and nobody will release secrets. You all know that. Companies have their secrets. But this one boy who used to draw 1 lakh per month in those days, or 12 lakhs per year he was earning. So that company told him that for every secret you will give us, we will give you 1 lakh as a gift. They told him. So in that particular year, he released 6 secrets from the company and they gave him 6 lakh rupees. So he was very jolly. This year I got 18 lakhs. He told his wife, just see how I am making money like anything. They both were very happy. But then the parent company started observing that the rival company is skyrocketing and we are nosediving. And amazing thing for them was, whatever research we are doing, By the time we launch it in the market, they are already launching it. Something very fishy. There is a black sheep amongst us. Who is releasing the secrets? So they put a survey trying to find out, and he was caught. They blackmarked him, heavily penalized him, and threw him out of the company. And he was laughing still foolishly. He said, "Okay, I am IT man. I have experience of so many years. I can always hop and jump to another job." But then what happened? When he went to different companies, because nowadays many companies are connected in LinkedIn, correct? No, they very easily connect with others. So every company he went, they found out that he was blacklisted. So he was not getting job anywhere. 3 years he lost, no job he was getting. Finally, he went round and round and round and came to the rival company and said, "Hey, for you people only, I did this. So you take me." They said, "Here is a door. We don't want you because you were never loyal to your parent company. What is assurance you'll be loyal to us?" They said, "Get lost," they said. So now not only 3 years means 3 into 12, how much? 36 lakh he lost. He earned 6 lakhs and lost. Is it not foolish? Penny wise, pounds foolish. Penny wise, pounds foolish. Think about it. So see, if you lack integrity, we will have to pay a heavy price later. One has to be very careful. So there are so many examples we can give like this. For personal gain, if one compromises on values, eventually we will suffer. Read it? There's a definition for integrity. Read that, yeah.
Integrity, choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them.
Yeah.
Brian Brown.
See, now many things are fun, fast, or easy, but one should not go for it. For example, sometimes there are teenage kids belonging to congregation. They take a double standard. What is the double standard? When they come to temple, they will wear tilak, they'll be dancing, singing, playing mridangam, kartal, everything. They will look like devotees. And on outside, you find they are wearing gaudy dresses and roaming in bikes with opposite sex. And they're going to movies, they're going to parties, and they're indulging in wrong type of behavior. They're keeping connection with opposite sex, girlfriend, boyfriend, and everything. So sometimes when some devotees found out that these fellows are playing a double standard role, it's like chameleon. Chameleon means in the tree it will be brown, and the grass it will be green. So he can play double standard role like that. And these kids sometimes think, life is fun, everybody is enjoying, why can't you also enjoy? So when they lack integrity like this, they cannot advance in Krishna consciousness and they will lose taste also very easily, very soon. It's only a matter of time because they're playing a double standard. They're when they go for sense gratification, they will dress like karmis, they will act like karmis, live life like karmis. And when they come to devotees, they'll offer a big obeisances and behave as if they are like Harishchandra, very, very truthful. They'll pretend. And many people, you will not even know that they have double standard. Because they are choosing, comfort over courage. They don't have the courage to stick to the strict regulative principles that Prabhupada has given. So they want something that is comfortable, fun, easygoing, cool, and jolly. You can do whatever you want. So this kind of practice, double standard, is very dangerous. So who is represents the double standard? Bakasura. If you read Bakasura, Bakasura was a very big duck. When he arrived in front of Krishna, it was so huge duck it was. All the friends and others, they practically fainted seeing that. And then this duck was trying to swallow Krishna. But then when he swallowed Krishna, what happened? Krishna became very hot. Imagine you swallowed a red hot coal. Hotly feel. He got frightened. Immediately he spat out. He spat out Krishna. He couldn't swallow Krishna. He spat out Krishna. Similarly, you will see people who lack integrity, they cannot hold Krishna for a long time. They pretend for some time, doing gimmicks, drama like a devotee, then they will go away after that. Scattered. Not only that, after that, when many demigods came in the sky and they understood that this Asura is a very powerful person. So Indra came with a thunderbolt and hit him on his feathers. Pat, 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 and this Bakasura flew some distance in the sky, some distance. Some feathers fell off. After Indra went, again he came back. Then after that, Devi came with her 10 hands, with all her Trishul, everything. She attacked. She hit him. And then immediately this fellow fainted unconscious below. And after Devi thought he's dead and gone, then again he got up. Then Shiva brought his Trishul. When Shiva attacked him, again. So several demigods attacked him. This fellow apparently died and again he came back with same vigor before. What does this teach? The lack of integrity, duplicity is such a thing that it is a repeating phenomenon unless the individual decides to change. Imagine you are going for yatra with 1,000 devotees. One devotee is a mobile chore, for example. How many people will suffer? All 999 will suffer. Correct, no? Now this mobile chore has to honestly agree that I will not be mobile chore. Then only everybody can be peaceful. Correct, no? Nobody can help otherwise. You will always wonder why some mobiles are missing always. And he is taking and selling and making money with that. Correct, no? So he has to change. So in the same manner, the duplicitous Bakasura, he could not be killed by anybody. At last, Krishna tore his beaks. That was the time he was finished. If you read the Acharya's commentaries, you will read about how this anartha is called hypocrisy. He represents hypocrisy or duplicity. Saying one thing, doing another thing, putting double standard rule. For example, taking money and saying I will use it for Krishna consciousness and using it for one's own purpose. That's called duplicity like that. And also one has to be thoroughly honest in one's character also. If one lacks the character, very soon one will lose the weight of the bhakti yoga practice. Why Prabhupada gave 4 regulative principles? Because if you are going to compromise on that, your substance, spiritual substance will reduce. For example, food. Prabhupada says, if one chants 16 rounds of Hare Krishna and follows 4 regulative principles strictly and eats only Krishna Prasada, they alone will have the purity and strength to deliver Krishna to others. For example, you say that I go to a Jain hotel and put a tulasi and eat it, you will only get vairagya, that's all. You don't get bhakti bhava. Bhakti bhava is, impregnated into the food which is cooked by a devotee, offered with love, cooked with love and served with love. Correct, no? Like today morning, Bhadram Prabhu was telling, they were all cooking. Imagine somebody, devotee like Bhadram Prabhu is cooking. So naturally food will have affection. So much philosophy of Krishna consciousness, correct, no? Devotees like this are going to kitchen and cutting sabji, they're remembering Krishna, they're cooking and then offering to the Lord. So it should be cooked. The sabji should be brought by the devotee, it should be cooked by the devotee, offered Lord by the devotee and eaten by the devotee. Then only it can have. So in the same manner, each of the regulative principles, we should follow them very meticulously. And in this way, Prabhupada says, then you get the spiritual strength to practice and distribute. So that's the point he's saying. Don't go for things which are fun, fast, or easy, or which are comfortable. Have the courage to choose. One of my students in the college, 3 days he was traveling and eating only fruits. He didn't touch anything else because he was traveling. He said, Prabhuji, I couldn't eat anything. In the voice, I am eating prasad. I couldn't eat. Later on, I told him, announced to all the voices that every one of the students should know at least to make khichdi. At least. Khichdi, upma, some little item. You don't have to survive on fruits when you are traveling. Make khichdi, little sabji, something you should know to make. Yeah. See, integrity means choosing your thoughts and actions based on values rather than on personal gain. I already told you that. Similarly, integrity means the choice between what is right and what is convenient. Most people will go for which one, right or convenient? Convenient. That which is very convenient, they will go for it. So, integrity means choosing courage over comfort, right over what is fun, practicing values rather than simply professing them, he's saying. Yeah, read that. One of you?
Life without values and character is like a body without head. A beautiful picture by paying one's eyes as a price and a game without goal.
Think about it. Imagine you are playing a football game without goal post. Can you play? You tell both the teams you can run as far as you want. Nobody will play such a game, foolish game, because there's no goal post to put the ball. Or you are buying a painting by paying your eyes as the price, then what are you going to see after buying it? Huh? Or if you are teaching, skills to the children in your school without bringing God, like there was one meeting in Pune. Bari Malhotra ji had called many big leaders from TMT, they call it Top Management Consortium, richest people in Pune. And also many college principals and all had come. There were some 15, 20 people. So in that gathering, some of them were suggesting, is it possible in our schools we can teach children, we should teach them to be obedient to parents, and we should teach them to study the subjects well and also live a life of good character and behavior. And we don't have to bring God unnecessarily. Why God should be brought, they were saying. So Malhotra ji was such a bold personality. He was a follower of Prabhupada, so he said, what? You are saying we should teach values, morals, and character without God? It's like a headless body, he said. You are talking of a headless body. You can see a handless body or a legless body. Can you see a headless body? Headless body means the body is dead. So you cannot give values to children without bringing God. Because God is the source of all values. He is the source of all ethics, morals, values, character, everything. Like that. So, therefore, life without values and character is like a body without head. Here are some integrity traits. Please read that. Because these traits can give you a clue on how you can increase your integrity in your life. Yeah. Where's the mic with you? Yeah. Not visible? Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Be reliable and trustworthy.
You
Respect
can
and
put that window like that. You can close it. Yeah.
be reliable and trustworthy.
You know the meaning of the word reliable? Reliable means if somebody has told you something, it will be done. You don't have to follow up. Huh? Some people need little follow up, but some people need too much follow up. That means not reliable. Correct, no? Reliable and trustworthy. Yeah. And then next one,
Value honesty.
Yes.
Be accountable for your actions.
That means even if sometimes you fail to do what you promised, you can give reasoning for that properly and be accountable. Yeah. They take responsibility for your actions. Yeah.
Respect and help others no matter where you are. Be patient even when unexpected obstacles show up. Express gratitude.
Yeah. These are all symptoms of a man with a high integrity. Huh? So in our service place, in our home, in office, how we can demonstrate integrity? Read this. Very simple. Be a role model. Respect others' opinions. Be ready to take initiative and work. Whenever there are conflicts, honestly and respectfully address it rather than rashly or, harshly dealing with it, and report any unethical behavior. And these are very simple things. First of all, see, anything you want to implement in your life, you should start with knowledge. Knowledge, I told you about this. Know, do, be. Correct, no? Know means, okay, what is integrity we are seeing now? Do means make an effort to implement. Be means it becomes integral part of your being, which is the most difficult thing. So I asked you a question last time. You remember that? How many of you know you should be humble? How many of you know? We all know, yeah. How many of you make an effort to be humble? We all try to be. How many of you are already humble? No, yeah, surely not. Huh? Of course, you can be humble and say you are not humble. That is also all right. Correct, na? because you are a devotee, correct? But the idea is your humility will be tested in different situations by different people. Some people really test your patience and humility sometimes. We all have our limits also. Beyond certain limit, we'll collapse. So the idea is know, do, be. huh? Knowledge, skills, values. That's how you grow. So right now we are trying to know the integrity thing. Okay. Now why is it important to have integrity? Let us see. You see this fellow. He is sitting at the top and driving his people. I'll tell you a story. Once Dr. George Washington, President of the United States, he was riding on the back of his horse, going around the country to see what people are doing. In one place, he saw, they were lifting, what do you call it? The beam, wooden beam. There were about 10, 12 people were there. They were lifting wooden beam. And there was a boss who was yelling at them, lift it now, lift it now. Like that he was telling. But they needed one more person. Otherwise, they were not able to lift it. They would lift a little bit, it will fall back. Again, they will lift it, it will fall back. And the boss was yelling at them. So Washington, what he did, he was wearing a cap. He kept his horse in the side and went to the leader of the team and said, sir, can I help them? He said, that's all right. Go, he said. So he also went and lifted. Then all of them could easily lift and they could erect it properly. And then this boss saw the face of the person. Who is that? Is it Dr. Washington? He said. And he lifted the cap and said, yes. He said, my Lord, he started trembling. He's the president of the country. I am so shocked to see this. I asked you to lift the beam along with others. I'm extremely sorry. Please forgive me. I may be even hanged for this behavior. And George Washington laughed and said, sir, by giving a hand to the workers, your position doesn't become little less. He said, this is one thing you will find in many great leaders. They have such kind of values, very unique values. That's what makes them leaders, actually. Then that leader learned a very good lesson that day. In case any day they will need me, I can also go and give a helping hand. So that on the other hand, you see the below one. He is actually willing to lead from the front instead of just bossing over them. Yeah. Then? Yeah. Let's go. Give the mic to him. Here. Question. He has a question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So on this front, Prabhuji, where the leader is coming forward
Yeah.
and doing it and showing by example, that is one level. But also, we will have to delegate certain things sometimes.
Yeah.
So how do we understand the right balance? Sometimes we go into extremes of delegation that I'm just delegating, I'm not doing anything.
Correct.
Another extreme is I'm doing everything.
Correct.
How do we draw the right balance?
Yeah, we definitely need a balance. And for example, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is delegating the work in that Gundicha Mandir Marjan. But he is also doing. You can see that he's also washing, cleaning especially he took the very vital places where Lord Jagannath is going to sit. What do you call that? Sanctum Sanctorum. Because he thought big services should be done by the leader. There are services which you cannot delegate to others. It's risky to delegate some important service because if they commit mistake there, that will create a big problem. So those services we should take it. Therefore, Mahaprabhu, Sanctum Sanctorum, because it requires very, very pure consciousness to clean that place. So Mahaprabhu personally took it up. For others, he gave different other places. Like on the Vyas Puja day, Prabhupada saw one young devotee came to worship Prabhupada. Prabhupada, where is Tamal? Prabhupada asked. And behind and then got him. And Tamaksha Maharaj was busy organizing. Prabhupada said, see, Vyas Puja day, the gurus should be worshipped by, the most senior person. You are here, then why some very young devotees coming and worshipping? Prabhupada asked. Then Tamaksha Maharaj immediately went and brought the chadar and he worshipped it. So, in this way, one time what happened in one yatra, devotees were going, so they had about 2 or 3 lakh rupees cash. They had kept it in a bag, In those days, people did not have bank account and all. They would collect money from the devotees and would spend loosely money. So this devotee, the leader of the yatra, he had to give lecture also. He's a Grihastha devotee. So he gave this bag to one of the young devotees and told in the bus, you keep this bag with you, it's full of money, take care. You know, whenever you want to use for anything, we will take money from this. Like that, there were about 2 lakh rupees something. So this devotee, when they all got down for bathing somewhere, this devotee left the bag in the bus and he also went for bathing. Correct, no? So now the driver, conductor, all are watching. The money is there and the bus door is also open. People are coming and going out. Correct, no? So almost 2 hours later, when the leader came back, the bag was missing. Correct, no? Then big halla gulla, everybody was running around saying, 2 lakh rupees kept. So the leader said, I had delegated, the work to one devotee. And that was a very young devotee, neophyte devotee. That was a big mistake. Huh? And here, somehow or other, most amazingly, they caught the thief. That's the most amazing thing. They bet him up severely and that fellow ran away, leaving the bag because somebody saw him running with the bag. They caught him penny to penny, they got all the money. But one good lesson that leader learned, that you should not delegate very big things to small people. Because small people may not be very responsible. That he himself should keep it with him in his custody. Correct, no? Like my laptop bag, I won't give to anybody. When I go also, I will tell them that, I have to lock the room. I have to keep it in lock. Sometimes my assistants used to say that, Prabhuji, we are in the house only. What is the problem? I would say, wherever. I will tell them that if laptop is not locked, I can't sleep. Because all my years of everything is here. Correct, no? So certain things you should take. Now, for keeping clothes, I can give it to my assistant. Laptop, I won't give him. I will only give it. Although it's a little heavy. I know it's heavy to carry because giving it to not so responsible people, then we have to lament later. So as a leader, you keep those items with you which are very vital. Another example I tell you, we have student center where the neighbors have to be taken care. In the early days, what they did while allotting the services for preaching, book distribution, they allotted the best devotees. And devotees who cannot do any good work, they allotted them, okay, neighbor care, like that. And this devotee is not so sensitive devotee, So he's supposed to go and give sweet rice. Many times he will forget. Festival days we make sweet rice, he'll never give. And the leader will ask him, did you give sweet rice? He will not give. And if you little bit force him you have to give, he will go and say, please take prasad. Like that he'll give and come. He was not very, what do you call it? He was not very cordial. So then the neighbors started quarreling. And they told, you guys have to vacate, you are making noise in the morning and everything. Then they got one very loving and very sweet-spoken devotee. They made him in charge for this. Then he went and met the same neighbor. He took them to temple. He gave them a lot of gifts from the temple. And they started telling the owner that these people are so good. We don't mind, they can continue always. Completely that fellow became, I couldn't believe my eyes, how he was and how he changed. It's all because one good devotee was put for the service. So then wherever I go now, I tell the devotees, neighbor care means you should really put a proper devotee. So therefore we should know while delegating which service should be given to whom. And we also should take up some service. Like I go to Mayapur Utkarsh camp. So certain vital lectures I will only deliver. Like Radha Tattva, I will not tell one junior boy to deliver. It's a very delicate topic. Correct, no? But the other topics I'll give it to them. Some topics which I'm confident that others can. Like 6 opulences. I put 6 brahmacharis. They talk on one opulence. So in Mayapur, there are 500 boys sitting. They enjoy variety also. But certain topics I will only speak. I've been speaking last 25 years. I have not delegated to anybody. Because those topics are very vulnerable topics, spiritual. And boys may also ask questions, many questions. So in delegation is another topic. We will do it in future sometimes. But we also should take up something in order to inspire others, like Lord Chaitanya. Anything Lord Chaitanya does, he also takes lead in that. Like in Shiva Sangan, he is also dancing and singing with all the devotees. In Beda Kirtan pastimes in Madhya Lila, when you see, Mahaprabhu first leads Kirtan alone and makes multiple circles. Then he calls all the leaders of all the 9 circles says that you all come, they are all standing in a row, and tells them to sing with him. And all of them sing loudly the same tune, they sing. Then everybody gets very charged, and all the kartal, big kartals and mridangas come together. Then they go around that Radheshyam marg in that. They're going. So one thing is, the leader leads from the front. Now, when the leader is present, then everybody gets very enthused also. Like for example, like my special master takes yatra. So the most important aspect of yatra is the evening lecture. So 3-4 hours that he will give. And then morning, everybody can take their own group and show different places. They can give short lectures. Different devotees give like that. Afternoon, devotees can relax and meet and all that. And the evening, the dose he will give, the spiritual dose, what he has to give. So he does some part, and then he will go to kitchen and encourage them. Different devotees who are entering service. That is also a very important aspect. So he can always say, okay, managers, you can thank. You can say that. So if we do certain things ourselves, it will have value. But the point here about integrity is the leader should actually understand, when the leader is a leader of integrity, then it promotes very good team spirit in the people. I read that second one. Yeah.
Helps foster an open and positive work environment.
Yeah, people become more and more open, more they can trust you. Yeah. Yeah.
Promotes an ethical approach to decision making.
Yeah. Integrity means a person has a high ethics. You see, there is a moral dilemma and ethical dilemma. Now, Ravana had a moral dilemma. Should I kidnap another man's wife or not? Is it moral or immoral? It's an open answer. Everybody knows what is the answer. It's immoral. It's very easy. But ethical is more difficult. What is ethical means, what is good, what is better, or what is bad, what is worse. That is ethical. For example, both Arjuna was also caught in an ethical dilemma. Like, I should fight the battle because these people are unreasonable. At the same time, they happen to be my relatives. So it's an ethical dilemma. Like if you see our Kumbhakarna knew Ravana is wrong and he is other way. He is going to be destroyed. But nevertheless, he had ethical dilemma. Because he happens to be my blood brother, I have to fight for him. He knew that he may die also. So in that ethical dilemma, he made a wrong decision. Like that. So, ethical approach is more finer than moral approach. Moral is very easy, black and white. What is right, what is wrong. Whereas ethical means what is good and what is more good. So that is more challenging thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Is ethical based on Shastric references?
Oh, there are many Shastric references.
And moral is based on what?
Moral also. See, the difference between moral and ethical is, say, for example, one girl in her college days got close to a boy and she became pregnant. And now she is only 3 months or 4 months now. Now she is thinking, should I abort the child or not? It's an ethical dilemma. Because if she doesn't abort the child will come, then what will happen? There are going to be a lot of complications. What will she tell the parents? What will she tell the society? Other friends will ask. Her reputation will be spoiled. Her future is very bleak. Or if she goes to a doctor, hospital and aborts the child, then it is sinful. That innocent creature in her womb, unfortunately it had to be killed. It's murder. And her conscience is not permitting. So that's an ethical problem. Because she doesn't want to hurt that child also, and she doesn't want to lose her reputation also. So these are more complex problems compared to, just moral. Moral means, right or wrong only. Very simple problems it is. Shastra, there are many. Like, for example, Ashwatthama, he surely deserves to be punished. But Draupadi is not allowing because of ethical dilemma. Because she says Guru Putra, such reasons. He's a Brahmana. Many reasons she gave. So, from one point, he deserves, morally speaking, he deserves to be punished. What he did is wrong. He is Atatai. He can be killed. Like Duryodhana, for example, and Arjuna, if you see, Arjuna considered lower dharma and higher dharma. He said, according to me, the lower dharma is to destroy this Kauravas because, they are unreasonable. But my higher dharma is because they are my brothers and cousins. So, in family, sometimes we tolerate the unreasonable behavior of a brother or sister, and we forgive them. So, like that, he said, I want to follow Dharma Shastra, not Artha Shastra. According to Artha Shastra, one thinks about one's own profits. In Dharma Shastra, one foregoes the profit for value. But Krishna said, what are you talking? I will tell you Paro Dharma Shastra. He said, Sarva Dharman Paritaja. Then Arjuna understood that. Clear? Yeah, yes?
Encourage diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, that only Yudhishthir could do because he was all encompassing. He was never like a Kopamanduk, like a frog in the well. Uh, People with high integrity are also people with abundance mentality. Yeah.
Promotes strong and resilient teams.
See, strong, resilient means flexible. Resilient means flexible. You can have strong team and also very flexible teams can produce. Yeah. Get it?
Actively build and maintain trust.
Yeah. Okay. So these are integrity points which are there in the notes given to you. Yeah. So Maharaj said many things about character and integrity. You can read that notes yourself. Yeah. So this is from Prabhupada's purport 11741. From that purport, read that.
Qualification for taking up leadership. Part C. If a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmana at once become null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once become false. If a king and public leader are unnecessarily habitual, he becomes disqualified. If a woman is not chaste, she can cause trouble to her family, another's family, and to society.
Yeah. So the first one, Shukracharya's example, he was not truthful. Therefore, who didn't follow him? Bali Maharaj didn't follow him. So then his being a guru and all the thing is meaningless because he was thinking if Bali loses all his wealth and property and everything, then what will happen to my remuneration? Because I can't be his Raj Purohit. So he thought from his personal profits point of view. He didn't think about what is truthfulness. He lacked integrity at that point of time. Similarly, Vishwamitra connected to Menaka, then all his claim as a big sannyasi is finished. Like that. So similarly, Rahugana king is becoming proud and he is very harshly speaking to Jadabharata. I can punish you like Yamaraj punishes the sinful, like that he says. So when a king becomes extremely, actually one amazing thing with Rahugana is, he was going to Kapilashrama. Kapilashrama for attending some Bhagavatam class. He was a pious king, but even though we may be pious, sometimes we can become carried away by passion. We have to be careful. Similarly, if a woman is not chaste, she can cause trouble to her family. The example is given in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that sometimes in the cloudy, rainy season, like that, one lightning comes in one cloud and another cloud. Again, one cloud, another cloud. Which means the cloud is compared to a rich man. Sometimes a woman is not chaste to one man. She's connecting with multiple people for getting more money. She's money-minded. And chaste, just like Shurpanaka. She tried Rama, she couldn't get Rama, so she went to Lakshman. She said, one of the two is all right. Both are beautiful. Both are handsome. So unchaste woman, isn't it? Going. So then she can cause trouble to her family. The family completely will be finished. There is one verse by Chanakya. Mata yasya grihe nasti bharyam cha apriyavadini aranyam tena gantavyam yata griham yata aranyam. It says. It says if the mother is not chaste, she is roaming with different men, somebody other than her husband. Similarly, if a wife is harsh spoken, then it's better for one to take to renounce daughter because home itself is like a forest. Like that he says like that. So actually the chastity is a very important thing, but how the chastity is getting spoiled nowadays, I want to give an example. There was one marriage they wanted to conduct in our marriage hall in Pune, NVCC, and the marriage hall was given to them. So just the day before marriage, you know, uh, one boy sent a WhatsApp message to the bridegroom. Huh? Bridegroom. So he told the bridegroom that, hey, you are trying to marry her tomorrow. You don't know that we both already have an affair. Huh? And he sent many, many photos of both these people going to beach and going to park and going roaming in different places and very intimately connecting with each other. All that photos he sent. And then he said, despite after seeing all these things, if you are still going to, you know, marry her tomorrow, the child that will be born in her womb will not be yours, it will be mine. Like that, he sent a threat, this thing. So as soon as the boy saw this, he told his parents that I cannot marry this girl. She already has had affair with the boy, like that. And then the next, actually what had happened was, this girl told her parents that I want to marry that A boy, first boy. They didn't agree. They forcibly wanted to marry her to B boy. Correct, no? Although her parents are very serious devotees also. They are devotees, but she is not a devotee. She is like little pious and but nowadays, even though a girl may be born in a devotee family, but they mix with boys very freely nowadays. You see that everywhere like that, isn't it? Parents were not aware that she had gone to that extent of mixing with him, huh? Like that. So the next day is marriage, and suddenly they had to change the marriage invitation. Then they told her, okay, marriage cannot be stopped. Let your old boy, whomever you want to marry, let him only marry. Huh? They brought that boy. So all people were shocked. What is this? Suddenly bridegroom has changed. And on the day of marriage, what a ridiculous thing it is. So many many people left actually. Huh? They didn't want to attend. When they heard the news, only half the way, only some people went away. They were supposed to get about 500 people. They got only about 40, 50 people only. They came. They had ordered for catering for prasad and everything. In the Govindas, they could not serve. The whole marriage was a flop marriage because of unchastity. Because and the girl told the father, I already told you I want to marry him. You didn't allow me. She was telling. And then they said, we never knew you have done so much nonsense. You never told us before. You've gone so intimate. This is not just with one family. It's happening in many places nowadays. Huh? So therefore, those who are mentors for boys, mentors for girls, you know, like I will tell you the opposite example. There is one devotee called Shyam Hari Prabhu preaching in Bits Pilani. Huh? So many years ago, Gopal Maharaj told him to preach there, and now he is married and settled just close to the college, and he conducts a Bhagavad Gita course, 42 sessions in one semester, 3 sessions per week. He does inside the college. 10, 20 people used to join in those days, but now there are 400 people attending now. It was so big that they have made the group into two. 200 they have made now. And many of his students are teaching now. So he was telling me that after the boys, girls attend the program one semester, he makes an announcement. If you liked this course, you can come to our house and take devotion service more seriously. And people start coming. After every course, 30, 40, 50 people come. Out of that, about 10 people become Pakka devotees. Every year, he gets about 10 people from the out of the course. So like this, he has been doing for about 20 years. Now he told me that 100 junior devotees chanting 8 plus rounds and 60 16 rounders, senior devotees. This is his community. All over India, they are spread it out, about 160 people. So he goes to Kanchipuram every year for 15 days. First week for senior devotees, second week for junior devotees. 1 week camp he does. Morning 3-hour session, evening 3-hour session, morning, like that he does. So he has one very good practice. In his home and in all these people also, every day morning they rise at 3 a.m. And by 4 a.m. they are ready. And they have Mangalarti, Narsingarti, Tulasi Arti and one Bhagavatam class. And evening they have Tulasi Arti and Bhagavad Gita class. Evening. This is a daily practice. All these 100 people attend. All these 60 people attend. Wherever they are in India. And when he gets extra time, he chants more rounds. And this sandwich program of morning, evening is compulsory for his group, for all the people. So then I asked him, how do you tackle their household problems and all, husband, wife? He said, they have no problems, he said. Because they are so busy, morning and evening, they have so many programs to do, hardly they have any problems. There are a few people with some problem, I guide them, he was telling. Then I asked, what if people don't stick to this, hearing program daily? Morning, Mangalat Nachana Tulsi Arti, then 45 minutes class, Bhagavata. Evening, Tulsi Arti and 45 minutes, Bhagavad Gita. It's a daily thing. He just teaches the 4 books of Bhakti Shastri, then Bhagavatam first canto, then again they repeat. Huh? Like that they have been doing. Only in the camps he does, other sections of Bhagavatam he does. So, I asked if people are not following morning evening program, how do you tackle them? He said, I don't allow them to be in my group. He said, I tell them, thank you very much. We had a nice time with you. Now we can proceed. Whichever temple you want to connect, you can go. Therefore, he left many people, he said. I left many people like that, those who were not following. And those who are strictly following are only with me. He said, these people, I feel for them and I have to make sure I give them shelter. I have to protect them. Because they are obliging to what I am requesting, so I also have to protect them. So strictly he keeps his group like that. And his people are also just like him. They are very strict, sincere and strict and serious. Every person in that group. And then wherever they are, they promote a similar nice program. In the morning, evening. Evening you go to their houses, you will hear them, see them doing bhajan, kirtan, having a talk and everything. So when you institute a very pure and strict culture, then such dirty things cannot happen. And people going, in any direction, without any restraint or control. And illicit connections are ruining the world now, and it's very deadly in the long run. It can happen even in devotee families. There were 2 couples who were proper devotees, both of them attending Bhakti Krishna meetings under 2 different counselors. They were attending. But they were living in the same housing colony. So this couple and this couple are neighborhood houses. So this Mataji reveals mind to this Prabhuji, and this Mataji reveals mind to this Prabhuji. You understand, no? They don't talk to their husband, but they talk to the other Prabhuji. And why are they talking to Prabhuji? Because if they talk to Mataji, they will put dama 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 dama. It will spread. So they don't want to reveal to other ladies. They are afraid to reveal to ladies. So they reveal their mind to. But then what happens? Woman wants somebody like a father, who is a very emotionally mature personality, who can listen to them. And then listening itself gives them a lot of solace. Somebody can listen to them for an hour or 2, nod the head and peacefully listen, patiently hear them. And after that, give some fatherly advice and that kind of thing. It gives a lot of shelter for them. So they are emotionally requiring some shelter and support and assurance and confidence giving. They need that. And man is used to needing woman's body for sense gratification. Because man looks with a very dirty eye, with a desire to exploit the body like a tiger wants to eat flesh. Man is attracted to fleshy pleasures, like that. So because of this, what happened? When this woman is going and taking guidance from him, she is seeing him like a father. But that fellow is seeing her bodily beauty for his enjoyment. And the same thing was happening with this one. So when did they realize this? And all are devotees, all are initiated devotees. Can you imagine? Suddenly, one out of the 2 found out that this man's behavior is not so proper. The way he is trying to come close to me, I think he's trying to abuse me. Somehow she detected it. Immediately she brought the matter to very senior counselor. And that counselor took it to Maharaj. Ranath Maharaj immediately said, these 2 families need a geographical separation. Immediately, he said. So Maharaj said they should go to the other side of the country. So if this family is in north, they should go to south. Immediately he said, and number 1. Number 2, he said, both these ladies should immediately come close to each other and talk to each other that these 2 men are likely to destroy the 2 families. So because of this kind of abusive behavior. So let us save our families. Although we have strained with our husband, let us save the relationship by keeping away. And they both promised, I promise I will not talk to your husband. And she said, I promise I will not talk to your husband also. Both of them. And we will take guidance from our counselor, Mataji, and everything. And they separated. And the problem never continued after that. That was the end of the problem. Because it was taken to spiritual master at the right time. So otherwise, both these women would have been led in the wrong path of unchastity by the exploitative men. Correct, no? One has to be very careful. In this way, the lack of integrity. There was another case. See, I'm telling these cases because many of your BB leaders, I'm telling you. There was one similar baby leader in our Pune temple long before, many, many years ago. He once was in an airport. huh? He was sitting in the airport and he saw one Mataji coming. And that happened to be his cousin. huh? So he was flying somewhere abroad. He saw her coming. He said, wow, because they both had considered to marry when they were in their college days, but it was not permitted by the family. And she got married and she got two children, and he got married and he got two children. He came to Krishna consciousness. She didn't know what is Krishna consciousness. She was not aware. So then they sat in the airport and talking. Now he is like, say, he is like 42, 43. She's like 36, 38, like that. They both have two children each. Boy, girl, they have. But they were traveling single. He was single, she was single. So he was just casually talking to her. And then he introduced her to Krishna consciousness. He had a copy of Bhagavad Gita. He gave her. She thanked him. And then after she went to her city, she read the book and she was deeply touched. Then she called him and asked, can you please parcel me a Japamala? Prabhupada says I should chant 16 rounds. So she started chanting and she came to 4 or 8 rounds. She came. And then in the course of her progress, she was very innocent. There was no temple in the neighborhood for her. So she had a strain with her husband, in relationships because husband was a little rigid type of personality. So she opened up mind to this fellow. Who? The devotee. She said, my husband, can you please give me some clue, how I can deal with him? So, but this devotee started remembering his old romantic days. He started telling her, see, you are not so happy, with your spouse. We both wanted to marry in those days, but we were not allowed. Even now, I think it is not late. Better late than never. She said, what? What are you talking? She and he said, I am married, I have 2 children, you have 2 children. What are you talking? He said, that's not a big problem nowadays. Nowadays, the law also allows I can divorce my wife, you can divorce your wife. She said, my Lord, how can you do this to your wife? She's a good lady. You are a devotee and she's a devotee, children are devotees, such a good family. How can you break it? You should never think of such a thing. We were into romance when we were small teenagers. Now we are grown up and that phase of our life is over. Now we are supposed to be responsible. You should be ashamed to even talk such a thing. She said, I think you need to be purified now. She said she learned the word purified. Yeah. I think you are not in a good state of mind. I'll help you, she said. Although I'm junior to you, I will help you. I am new to Krishna consciousness, but I'll help you. She told her husband to call the temple. I got a call. So the husband called and told, see, although we have a little strain in our relation, and this fellow is trying to take undue advantage of that. But now, because of that, you both have become very thick now, he said. And he said, my wife wants him to be purified. I don't know what is purified, you do it. He told, yeah. After that, I called, we had a committee, 3-4 member committee, we called and we interviewed him. Initially, he was like denying, everybody does it. And later on, we said, we have evidence for this and everything. Then we told him that you should be not a counselor or not a baby leader for at least 2 years, we told him. You should step down from the post and study Bhagavatam and purify yourself. You didn't do anything wrong, but your intention was wrong. You should purify yourself. So he said, but what will others say in the community? They will say that I have been removed from counseling. They will ask, can I go abroad? He said, no. If you go abroad, how will you be purified? You'll be purified more. You stay here only. Then we told him that you can tell them that your son is in 9th standard now or whatever. Exams, he's going to go to 10th. You need more attention to family. Like that you can give some excuse and take off. Initially he was very pained, but he agreed. He did that. And 2 to 3 years he was away from the post. Then afterwards he was again brought back. But I'm just telling you why did I speak elaborately about this? Because out of the 4, regulative principles, you will always see Prabhupada in his purports quoting, which is the first one he quotes? Illicit sex. Second one? Meat eating. Because meat eating and illicit sex are tongue and genitals. Huh? They are the most difficult thing to overcome. And then intoxication. And then finally, gambling, he says. This is the order in which you will find Prabhupada saying. So we all have to be thoroughly honest in our character in dealing with the members of the opposite sex. Huh? Actually, Yukta Vairaga means knowing that everything should be engaged in whose service? Krishna service, not for our sense gratification. And in case we find that our sense gratification is lurking in our mind, in our so-called preaching and dealing and everything, then one should withdraw from that type of counseling and guidance. Because sometimes some people feel some improper type of feelings towards certain people, then one should withdraw and get their counseling done through somebody else. Therefore, husband and wife should counsel a lady together. Or husband and wife can, of course, a man can counsel man, female can counsel female. But if they have to, if a female is not satisfied by the counseling from Mataji, she wants more support, then husband and wife can jointly help a lady. For example, if a Mataji's husband is slapping her or beating her, she doesn't know what to do. She asks the counselor Mataji. Mahatma says, Trunada Peshunichana, just tolerate. She said. And she is not satisfied with the answer. Then she may need both husband and wife to come. Husband may say that, some action has to be taken. Maybe you go to your parents' home for 3 months or 6 months. So generally in India, they do that and then they come back after that. Like that, something like that. So sometimes the husband may be aware of other possibilities or possible solutions. But generally, the opposite gender doesn't, the counseling is not allowed. There are so many people. There was one Mataji abroad who wants me to counsel her daughter. She's an 18-year-old daughter. I said, we don't counsel unmarried young girls alone. We are not allowed. Our Brahmacharya Ashrama order will not allow that. You should take her to your Mataji. And Mataji can only counsel Mataji. Sometimes we answer for philosophical questions. They ask Krishna conscious questions that we can answer. But personal life and all, we cannot counsel. So therefore, in integrity, this is one very important aspect. One should be... and this way, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very heavy with Gopinath Patnaik, correct, no? Because Gopinath Patnaik took government money, but then he went to see the dancing girls in some place. Mahaprabhu said, he is going to watch the dancing girls by taking government money. Why should I support him? I cannot shelter him. Whatever punishment government gives, he has to accept. Like that he said. So, I can take 5 minutes on questions. Now we have come to part A, B we have finished. Part C we are doing now. Oh, this is connected to that only. Only this much we will read. Read this. The 4 leaders. Who has the mic with you? Yeah. The 4 leaders of human society, sannyasis, brahmana, king and public leader or counselor must be tested crucially by their character and qualifications. And then Prabhupada says, this is directly from the purport. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualifications, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contamination of gambling, drinking, prostitution and animal slaughter. So that means Prabhupada says, if they are deficient in their academic qualification, that is not a big problem. But they should be free from this contamination of these 4 things. He's saying, which means the 4 regulative principles is more important. Like that he's saying. So therefore, you all know this famous verse, So one should set an example. So next time we come, we will do this part, see how do we cultivate that integrity. We will see any discussions, anybody want to share any thoughts? See, this topic may be a little frightening topic. Even when I teach to senior students, 25 years I've been teaching the topic only myself. I have not delegated to anybody this topic. So sometimes people become frightened that we should not slip from our character. We all have that fear. That fear is good only. It's what fear? Healthy fear. To fear that, like Prabhupada prayed to Srimati Radharani, please protect me that I should never fall down. And then he told the devotees that I can never fall down. So they said, Prabhupada, you said you can never fall down. But then why are you praying? He said, because I'm praying, I won't fall down. He said, I should always pray that we preserve our character. Yeah.
Guruji, as you mentioned, it is very sensitive, the last thing which you have said. Many times we observe, and also to warn us not to be don't come to conclusions also. Certain times we see a loose behavior with opposite sex.
Yeah.
How to come to conclusion, this first question. And second thing, sometimes we receive complaints also from multiple people
Yeah.
that so and so leader, they speak very sensitive things in the class about the midnight thing, bedroom things, and they would like to speak to opposite sex more and more. They are very comfortable with opposite sex than men.
Correct.
So like this we hear, but we don't find any solid proof sometimes. How to deal with such situation, first thing.
Actually, if somebody has evidence for that, that this such and such a devotee is speaking in those days, now that fellow is not anymore. But there was one fellow who used to tell his counselees that, the Javan Sambandha is a very important field, So he had some 5, 6 books on sex psychology and all that. He would share that and say that husband and wife should be able to know how to enjoy this properly, the relationship and everything. So that eventually that person became very crooked over a period of time. Yeah? He himself started misbehaving and all that. So people who get into these fields too much and all, helping the counselees and knowing about this sex life and all those things, they will get into wrong track. Very dangerous it is. Huh? So later on, that person had to be banned from congregation preaching completely. So if somebody is asking, my spiritual master clearly said that BB leaders or counselors who are guiding the people, you should speak from the Shastra plainly. And then when it comes to the personal life, one should not probe into the family details about, are you following this, are you not following that, husband-wife relation. Because he said that there is a capital I illicit sex, there is a small I illicit sex, he said. If husband and wife are slipping from the standard, it is small I illicit sex. But if they both have a very bad relationship and they go outside the marriage to satisfy, that is capital I illicit sex, going to a prostitute. So therefore, he is not, I don't say that he is very lenient in this, but at the same time, he is not too much very rigid about this in terms of asking counselors getting into these details. It's a very delicate area. It becomes a very private area. But at the same time, one should repeat what Prabhupada says. Like for example, in Vyasasana, you tell the truth. When it comes to personal life, there are other guidances which counselors have received from Prabhupada, certain letters. You can directly send that letter of Prabhupada. See, Prabhupada has given certain lenience or convenience. If you ask the senior devotees, they will reproduce. There is one book called Jayasilan Prabhu, who has written a book on Grihastha. It's there in VAHE book. So, in that book, there are many letters of Prabhupada given. You can see that if somebody is not able to follow this standard in Manu Samhita, some other standard is given. But other than that, getting the modern day self-help books on sex life and everything and giving it to counsellors and all that, it's a very crazy thing it is. One should not get into this field. It's a very dangerous area, zone it is. Another thing, if some leader, any BV leader, anybody is seen to be privately talking to women too much, either on phone or personally, and many people have observed, they feel that these two people have a wrong type of connection. It should be certainly brought to the top, and that person should be privately called and interrogated. Definitely we should do that. We should tell. He may say, you don't know, she's like my daughter, we know each other for many years. She takes guidance from me, he may say that. One thing we have to say is, you guide her with your wife by your side. When your wife is by your side, your speech will be different. When wife is not there, you speak differently. Sometimes even wife becomes disturbed. Why my husband is connecting so much with her? In counseling, sometimes the wives have complained about their husband to the superiors. Probably my husband, he likes her more than me. As they say. When he is with me, she will keep a crooked face. Like that. When he's talking to her, he becomes very, very sweet. They say like that. So therefore, if it is going to the point of wife complaining about the husband, that means husband requires reformation, change. Correct, no? So you tell him to guide men, he won't guide. But he is very eager to only guide women only. That's not proper. He should be equally interested to guide anybody. men, women, children, everybody. Actually, one thing we should know, age is no bar for this. You may think that once a person has crossed 50 or 60, now he is like a father or grandfather for me. No, no. Yeah. Even if one is 90 also, actually his body may not have the potency and power to enjoy, but the strong inclination for the opposite sex doesn't go away so easily. This was proven. Prabhupada says the story of the Chanakya and Chandragupta. When that old man was so much bedridden and he was like this, and Chanakya took Chandragupta to see him. And then when Chanakya was speaking to him, Chandragupta was speaking to him, this fellow didn't even open the eyes. Whether all the teeth was gone. Bolo, kya, bolo. Whether he was telling. And then he told Chandragupta, call your daughter. His daughter was Rukmini. Call her. And then she came. Immediately the fellow opened the eye. And then as she was walking, he was seeing like this. And she was standing right between Chanakya and Chandragupta. She was standing. Was watching her like this. Now Chanakya was hinting to Chandragupta, just look at him now. And then he told, now you send her back. Then so she went back. He saw. After she went out the door, he fell again. Again he fell. He was a very, very old man, 90-year plus. He was 1995. It's a very shameful thing it is. So, therefore, he told Chandragupta that this attraction for the opposite sex is not a very ordinary thing. Therefore, Prabhupada says, honest avoidance of opposite sex, one should have fear also. Sometimes some people say, they don't call the full name. Radheshyam Maharaj doesn't like it. He says, you should call people by the name Prabhu or Mataji. Correct, no? You call like that. So, otherwise you call people by the name, very coolly you talk. And then gradually the intimacy can develop. And somebody may say, don't you become too fanatical about this, Otherwise our friendly dealings and all these things will be spoiled. We are a community. It is possible to have somebody like a brother, sister, or a father and daughter, and that kind of, or a mother and son and all that. But we should keep these relations within the Maryada. Like one time in our deity department, there is one Mataji, she may be probably 72 or something, 71, 72 like that. She comes to do service and everything. So she had made some laddus. She is very fond of one brahmachari who is very wonderful dresser of the deity. So she wanted to give laddu in his mouth. Is it proper? It's not proper. So when she was trying to give, others also protested. He also protested. But she said, no, you are like my son, she was telling. But one should have some maryada. One should not cross that Lakshman Rekha. That is good. No matter how. Actually, I reply to dozens of mails which come from Matajis, but there is always some male person in that. With that, their husband is there or some other male is there. But I always keep that maryada, respect for them. Respect is what will keep the distance. If we lose that respect and become improperly intimate, that can cause future damage. And as the community builds up, increases more, we have to be very observant of everybody. And Kali Yuga, the evils are increasing in the world. And Kali can penetrate into devotee communities also if you are careless. You have to be very careful. And also sometimes people are fond of you also. For example, if somebody is a very charming preacher, amongst all of you also, many of you are very charming, nice preachers. You are young also. You are very charming. You are very friendly, very jovial. Actually, many people feel, many Matajis may feel that, in our home, nobody is so jovial and so friendly. This Prabhuji is so nice. And then Prabhuji, give your WhatsApp number. I want to keep in touch with you. They are very innocent because they are getting some, what do you call it? Some kind of shelter and joy. But the Prabhuji should be very aware because Prabhuji should know the dharma first. And they should teach dharma. He should say that, Mataji, you like my classes, it's very good, but, you can't, get too personal with me. You have your husband, children, family. I have my husband, children, family. If you want to come so close to me like a friend, it will really ruin both the families. He should honestly say that. There are many men. One girl, unmarried girl, came and argued with me. Radheshyam Prabhu, you always are surrounded by so many brahmacharis and they sit with you hours and hours. Why can't I sit with you and talk one-on-one? I said, Hare. Because you are in a female body, I am in a male body. Huh? I said, you come to the class and ask questions, we can ask. But one-on-one, she said, nobody should be there. I want to talk to you alone. No, we cannot allow that. And if you don't follow that rule, then what will happen? Then all kinds of complications. So the Maryada is very important. And Murli Gopinath brought this to me some time ago, probably a couple of years ago. Then we even wrote down some policies also. It was floated to
Prabhuji,
everybody.
that is my next question, Prabhuji. With your mouth, can you say what will be the action taken if someone is like doing even subtle way also, certain wrong?
See, it's not like, if you do this, it's not so simple it is. These are we have to see case to case. Correct? Now we have to see how serious the matter is. I would simply say this, we have a core committee. If anybody is not following the norms properly and it's repeatedly observed and complaints are coming, then we should bring it to the core committee and they should discuss and they should call the devotee and ask him, what is happening with you, Prabhu? Some warning should be given, correct now? And then even after the warning, they are not paying heed to the warning. Then the matter can be brought to me and Sitaram Prabhu, if need be. Then we can, maybe like that one devotee I told who was banned from congregation preaching, he had too much affinity for opposite sex. And he was too much lenient with them. Up to the point of, in the prasadam time, some lady taking a spoon of gulab jamun and putting in his mouth. And he giving her. He says, they are all my students. What's wrong with that? This kind of thing, can it be allowed? So he was told that, this is no good for you. Actually, basically, he's a good devotee. Devotee is a good devotee. But this one area is a weak area. Then he is unfit for preaching in this area. I told you can only go for youth preaching. He said, youth preaching means who? Boys and girls? No, only boys. He said. No, because you have weakness for that. See, some people have weakness for money also. There are people who take Janmashtami, this receipt book, and they collect a lot of money and keep it themselves only. They don't give it to temple until temple repeatedly asks them. And they put money here, there, everywhere. Later on they say, Prabhuji, I already spent it, I will again save and give you. They have very, very loose hands. Some people have weakness with money, some have weakness with opposite sex, some people have weakness with anger. For small things, they become angry. One fellow went to doctor and said, Doctor, everybody says I get angry for small things. And doctor asked, generally, when do you become angry? He said, who are you to ask me that? Like that he asked. Then the doctor said, now I can understand. Everybody says different. Some people, if you ask them, did you do this? They say, how did you even distrust me like this? They will ask you. You've seen that? मैं इतने सोच से भक्ति कर रहा हूँ, आपने ऐसा प्रश्न पूछ दिया हमारे बारे में, क्या सोचा आपने? मैं शिकायत कर दूंगा. You understand, no? You say, Prabhuji, we are not distrusting you. Some complaint has come about. Some people cannot. So, everybody has lust, anger, greed, a different type of problems. We are a devotee community. We have to preserve the purity and increase the purity over a period of time. That's why the SLATE program is a very important program, because we don't talk these things to everybody in the community. It's not possible to talk such topics like this to 1,000 people, because they don't have the maturity to digest it and properly implement it. But if this body understands it all properly, then they can hand over in their own way. Like all the SLATE topic notes, why am I giving you? Because you all are going to become teachers also. Later on, you can have a circle of your own people to whom you can teach this. In Pune, many Prabhuji's Matajis tell me that, Prabhu, whatever you taught us in the last 10, 15 years, we are using all the notes and we are teaching to our people. And that is why the whole community becomes very, very powerful, very sturdy and strong. So I am preparing this PPTs, also nicely prepared PPTs, because they give you some food for thought and some points for discussion and elaboration, correct now? So thank you. Now I have
Hare
to
Krishna,
another
bro. I have one
program.
question,
That's
bro.
why they-
Probably sometimes it happens that the person who has been made as in charge or leader, he is very much aware of his weaknesses and strengths, and he don't want to get into these kind of zones which will unnecessarily disturb his own life. So he is very much hesitant to protect his own devotion, and he wants to cultivate his own
Bhakti.
standard in bhakti.
Wonderful. Very good.
But sometimes it happens that other superior leaders, they try to push some services
On
and
him.
they want to engage him,
Hmm.
though he's not comfortable with that. So
if he's not comfortable, you should tell them.
Yeah.
that I am
So,
not very comfortable.
as an individual, what he should do? Should he take because of the peer pressure or superior pressure, or he should prioritize his own bhakti?
Actually, what you should do, you should tell him, Prabhu, probably you are not aware of my shortcoming. In this direction, I have this weakness. If you put me, I will fumble, and that will bring disrepute, to me and society. So if you want to see me protected, please kindly don't, put me in this area. He can say that. No? Like there are certain services which give too much freedom. Some brahmacharis used to tell me, Prabhuji, that service is not good for me because it gives too much freedom. I will misuse the freedom. So keep me under your supervision. It's better that somebody is above my shoulder always. Yeah? Similarly, some people have weakness with money, weakness with women, weakness with free time. Yeah? Like there are some people, if you make them leader, they have a bossing nature too much. Yeah? Then when they have a bossing nature, that causes damage to so many people. So they may not take leadership, but they can do a lot of services. Correct, no? The same manner, he has to tell the superior what is his shortcoming. You should not hide it. You should certainly tell them. And they will understand also. So some people think that like Jambavan glorified Hanuman. After that, Hanuman could do so many things. Similarly, I am glorifying you. Please take up this service. Sometimes they push you. But you can tell them, Prabhu, your encouragement is good. But this weakness of mine is very deadly. You don't know about it. You have not seen my bad side. You have only seen my good side. Like that, we have to tell them. And also, if any of us are there are pendulum has two extremes, no? Somebody is too much into bhajananandi, another one is too much goshtianandi. Yeah? We tend to, fluctuate between the two. I would say we have to keep a balance. Huh? Like, we want to preach also, but we want to take care of bhajan also. Too much bhajan and not enough preaching. In the long run, we are not such a movement. We have to keep a kind of balance. Yes, it's true that we want to read and we want to hear. We want to chant more rounds in auspicious months. We can do that. But in general, we have to be a devotee-making movement. Book distributing movement, Harinam Sankirtan doing movement. You see our Madan Kumar Prabhu, he does this weekly Harinam Sankirtan. And now many others have started also now. Harinam Sankirtan, distributing prasad, distributing holy name, distributing books. Now these Bhakti Kutiras are picking up like anything, correct, no? How hundreds of people are coming. So this gives a lot of thrill to all the devotees. Like the Leelan Prabhu's group, they did this 18 Rath Yatras, they did. Because if we don't give engagement to the congregation, they will get bored with spiritual life for a period of time. Then Maya will engage them. Correct, no? So I would say that we have to take adventures and thrills in spiritual life, not at the cost of bhajan, reading, hearing, chanting. Some kind of balance. We say no, comfort zone, stretch zone, panic zone. Don't go to panic zone. Keep yourself in stretch zone in both. Bhajan also stretch zone and service also stretch, both. All right, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hello.
प्रैक्टिकली कई सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, वो स्पिरिचुअल क्वेश्चन से कुछ इंक्वायरी करने आते हैं हमारे पास, लेकिन कभी दूसरे सर्कल में, फ्रेंडशिप में वो बोलते हैं कि मैं फलाने प्रभु जी से गाइडेंस ले रही हूँ. एक्चुअली पर्सनल गाइडेंस लेना, स्पिरिचुअल इंक्वायरी करना, ये दोनों डिफरेंस हैं.
करेक्ट.
तो जब वो फिजिकली कुछ स्टडी करते हैं, घर में कुछ प्रश्न होते हैं, चाहे मेल हो या फीमेल हो, वो हमारे पास आते हैं तो हम उनको आंसर देते हैं. लेकिन वो लोग दूसरों को यही बोलते हैं कि हम जो है सो प्रभु जी से गाइडेंस ले रहे हैं, हमको डिस्टर्ब मत करो. तो एक्चुअली हम लोगों को, स्टूडेंट्स को एक्चुअली एजुकेट करना चाहिए. दोनों अलग चीज़ है. पर्सनल गाइडेंस मतलब आप पूरा जो भी आप अपना साधना वगैरह जो भी कर रहे हैं, प्रभु जी जैसा बोल रहे हैं वैसा ही कर रहे हैं. एक्चुअली उसमें सरेंडरनेस है. इसमें क्या है, इंक्वायरी है. आपको कुछ डाउट्स है, आप डाउट्स पूछे, आपको क्लियर हो गया, खत्म हो गया.
करेक्ट.
तो ये पर्सनल गाइडेंस नहीं होता है.
करेक्ट.
लेकिन लोग सोचते हैं कि,
लेकिन अनेक लोग आजकल, अगर आपके ग्रुप में अविवाहित लोग हो, आजकल अनेक लोग खुले पूछते भी हैं. मेरे पास इतने प्रश्न आते हैं ईमेल में. लड़के लोग पूछते हैं, क्या इस तरह विवाह कर सकता हूँ, क्या इस तरह हो गया, उस तरह हो गया, अनेक आता है। हम क्या करते हैं, जवाब देते समय हम बोलते हैं कि आप गलत मार्ग में बहुत चले गए, आप वापस रिटर्न आओ, अभी रिवर्स गियर लो, अभी रिवर्स गियर लेकर अभी क्या करो, माला बढ़ाओ, नाम जप करो, अच्छा पढ़ो और संगति में आओ। और जिस दिशा में गया पहले वो तो पाप है, ठीक नहीं है वो। हाँ? अभी तुम्हारे उसको विस्तृत रूप से हमको बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, आपकी लीला आपके पास ही रखो। हाँ,
सही बात।
क्योंकि हम भगवान की लीला सुनना चाहते हैं। हाँ, कभी कभी वो लोग बहुत लंबे चौड़े अपना लीला बताना चाहते हैं जो गंदे लीला हो। हाँ, इसलिए बोलने की जरूरत नहीं कि थोड़ा बहुत बोला तुमने, समझ गए हम। अभी आप माला बढ़ाओ, हियरिंग करो, चैंटिंग करो, संगत में आओ, ABCD वही बोलते हैं हम।
वही
और इससे आगे ज्यादा हमें उनको इंटीमेटली सुनने की जरूरत नहीं है,
नहीं है।
क्योंकि उसे सुनने से क्या होता है, दोनों बिगड़ जाएंगे, हम भी बिगड़ जाएंगे, वो बम डालकर निकल जाएंगे, तो हमारा चक्कर आएगा हमको। हाँ? उसके बाद क्योंकि ध्याय तो विषयान पुंसः,
संघर्ष।
हाँ, वो चालू हो जाएगा। इसलिए हम ज्यादा सुनना नहीं चाहिए। आजकल अनेक लोगों को प्रॉब्लम है, आजकल खास करके मैन वुमन प्रॉब्लम है विद्यार्थियों का। हाँ? अभी से विद्यार्थी मैं स्टैंडर्ड रखा हूँ, मेरे पास फोल्डर्स है। हाँ? पॉइंट वॉचिंग के लिए एक फोल्डर है, कोई पॉइंट के बारे में बोलेगा उसमें 8-10 फाइल्स है मेरे पास, काट करके उसको अटैच करके ईमेल भेज दूंगा मुझे। हाँ? Somebody has pond watching, somebody has masturbation, somebody has boy girl relationship, somebody has homosexuality, सबका एक एक फोल्डर मेरे पास, जो भी चाहिए कट कट भेज देता हूँ। वो देखते ही पहले 2 लाइन पढ़ूंगा, पता चल जाता है यही प्रॉब्लम है इसका, अभी भेज दो, अभी तुम पढ़ो, जो करना है करो। हाँ? अभी हमें जोर किधर जाना चाहिए, मंदिर में आओ, जपा करो, रीडिंग करो, वो नहीं करते हैं वो लोग। हाँ, वो लोगों को समस्या के लिए समाधान चाहिए, लेकिन आध्यात्मिक कमिटमेंट नहीं देते। वो क्या काम का नहीं है वो, मैं बोलता हूँ उनको क्लियरली, जब तक तुम आध्यात्मिक कमिटमेंट नहीं दोगे तुम ये समस्याओं से बाहर नहीं आ सकते। तुम धुआं के ऊपर फूंक रहे हो, तुम चूल्हे में आग के ऊपर फूंको, अब आग बढ़ेगा, धुआं मिटेगा। आग है कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस। हाँ, वो जोर देते हैं। तो स्त्री हो पुरुष हो, हमें लंबे चौड़े उनके अनर्थों को श्रवण नहीं करना चाहिए। हाँ, उसको पहले से कट कर देना चाहिए, क्योंकि इसमें कुछ नई बात नहीं है, वही पुनः पुनः चर्विता। सिर्फ नाम बदलता है लोगों का, लेकिन कार्य एक ही है, सब लोगों का समस्या एक ही है। क्लियर है ना? थैंक
थैंक
यू।
यू प्रभु।
हाँ, यस मार्जी।
Or not.
Ah.
So we try to avoid giving them some major services.
Correct.
So, but then
Because we can't trust them fully.
we cannot trust. And from last many times, maybe we must have seen that this person is not doing the service properly
Okay.
and with integrity. But is it not that sometimes then I feel guilty? Am I taking away the opportunity of purifying the person?
So what you can do, Mataji, some services are services where they have to represent ISKCON. You should not put them there. But some services are background services, like decorating or making garland, or or cutting sabji and things like that. There you can put them. You give them services which don't demand a very high trust. And then once you see them for 2, 3, 4 years, you are confident that they are pakka person. Your front face of your activity should be very trustworthy people. I am very, very choosy about it, because they are going to represent Prabhupada, ISKCON, they should not misrepresent. Correct now? See, for example, one boy wanted to know how to wear tilak. We put tilak for him in those days. He wanted to do the frontline service, but then he is smoking outside. And that brings bad name. Imagine somebody with tilak is smoking. It's not very good. So therefore, we don't put unknown people, we don't put in the front. We put them in the background. Unknown, well-known devotees whom you know, like your own sisters for many years, they should be in the front. Clear?
These people would not like to be in background. They want to be the highlights and center of attraction.
No, they can be highlights, say for example, like master of ceremony. You can give, once you can give and see. And then you can also hear about their character and behavior from those who are close to them. You can check. It's true that master of ceremony and such kinds of things, these people do well, because they are very much in touch with the outside world. You can do that. But you have to see their character, because if they lack character, they are going to set a bad example for many. We have to be watchful. Thank you. It's all right. All questions are answered. Shri Prabhupada ki